Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad you guys are here today. So last week I shared with you the cards that we were going to make in today's live. I got so many positive comments. You guys are very excited about today's fun folds. And what's really cool about the project today is we're going to create two cards out of, well, 3 sheets of cardstock. I've got some creative cutting, but what's great is if you're going to make one, we're going to take the leftovers and we're going to make 2. So this is going to be a really fun card. And like I said, it's got a really great fun fold. I had a great time chatting with some of you in the chat room there on my live before we got started. So that's been great. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And hey, for those of you on the replay, welcome. So glad you guys are here as well. Are you ready to get started with some cards? I'm just very excited to share these with you. And like I said, from your comments, I think you are too. So let's head over to my stamping table and see what we've got. Well, first of all, we've always got a free download. I absolutely love sharing downloads with you. And so what you're going to have here is you're going to have the pictures, the supply list, the cutting and the scoring. Right here is a QR code. You can either open your camera app and scan that. It'll take you right to the video, or you can actually just click on it and it'll take you to the video as well. So if you've saved it to your computer, you can click on it. And of course, my favorite, and hopefully yours too, a place where you can order any of the supplies that I used on my card. You'll see the full supply list. But surprise, surprise, I have diagrams for today's cards. I know how much you guys love the diagrams, and I do too. So I'm going to share this. I don't know, can you see this? This is a coffee stain. But what I have to show you before we get started, this is what happened right before I went live about 20 minutes ago. I spilled my coffee all over my cardstock, and you guys challenged me while we were chatting before we started to do something with it. So I'm going to come up with something. I'll share it with you next week. But yeah, that's how my day started. How about you? All right. Well, we are going to go ahead. Let's talk about the cardstock we need for our project. You're going to need 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to create a Christmas card today. So I've chosen Merry Merlot and Mossy Meadow as my colors. And then I'm going to use basic white. You can also do very vanilla. And really, as long as we have 2 different colors of cardstock and a neutral that we can stamp on, you're good to go. So you pick your favorites. And let me tell you, when you see these cards, you're going to see that you can create this with so many different stamp sets. Whatever is going to fit in this square, that's what you can stamp. So have some fun. But this is the fun fold that I was telling you guys about. So here we go. We have room to write our message, but it's going to be totally hidden. So it's all set and perfect for you to write your message. You don't have to worry about what's going to show. And then, like I said, it's a 2-for-1. So we're going to create the leftovers that we used here, and we're going to go ahead and create another card. Aren't these pretty? When it comes to Christmas cards, don't we want a mantel-worthy card? We all want our card on display at Christmas time. So let's create a couple Christmas cards. The stamp sets I'm going to use for this particular card, we're going to use Cottage Wreaths. And then I wanted a sentiment set. So I brought in the brightest, or not the brightest glow, brightest glow. Any of your favorite Christmas sentiments are going to work here. We are going to use this little Merry Christmas, but I wanted a bigger one, and I thought that one worked awesome. So let's go ahead. The first thing we want to do, we want to work on our cutting. And of course, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in that diagram as we work. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have to cut 2 of these. And you know what, guys? I'm actually going to cut these at the same time. Yeah, our paper trimmer from Stamp It Up is so awesome. You can actually cut through 2 of these at the same time. You really can. So let's give that a try. We're going to start with our 8.5 by 11. And the first thing we want to do is we are going to cut it at 5.5 inches. And by the way, that is in the directions, okay, that we're going to cut this at 5.5 inches. And I'm so terrified I'm going to cut wrong because of my little coffee spill today. I was kind of crazy. All right, we've got these pieces left over. Let me set that off to the side because we're going to do some scoring here on these pieces. And I'm going to scoop myself down so you guys can see. We're going to do some scoring. First, let's get that score or the cutting blade out of the way. Guess what I did earlier? Yesterday, I sliced right through my cardstock instead of scoring. I hate it when I do that. Do you guys do that as well? We're going to score at 1 3/4, at 3 1/2, at 5 1/4, and then let me bring this arm out because then I need to score at 7. Now I'm going to do this again with my Mary Merlot. So give me just a second. We're going to whip through this real quick. But yeah, it's a 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. Now, don't put this away yet because we're actually going to do some more cutting and scoring with these two pieces. So here we're going to cut, and it's already 3 inches. Let me show you. See, it's already 3 inches. We're going to cut it down 3 by 6. Whoops, I can do both of these. Might as well save some time here, right? 3 by 6, and we're going to cut. Set that off to the side. Now these, we just want to score. Remember, we're not going to cut. 3 inches on each of these. And trust me, when you go to do this, you're really going to want to have that diagram. It makes such a difference. All right, the last cut, and this is pretty easy. We're going to cut at 3 inches. And my friend, whoops, that's a score, Connie. That's going to leave us these 2 pieces that are 2 by 3. We're going to use those too. Now that we have everything cut and scored, whoops, I almost got away from myself. Now let's work on our white or vanilla cardstock. We'll go ahead and get all that cut. So we're going to start, and we're going to cut at 5 1/4 inches with the 11 inches up at the top. That's going to be our first cut, is 5 1/4. Now we're going to take these and cut them down to 4 inches. So 4 by 5 1/4. And like I said, what's cool, this is going to make 2 cards. So the white and vanilla that you choose, guess what? It's all going to be in white, and we only need the 1 piece. All right, so now we're going to take this, and we are going to cut these into 6 2 3/4 inch squares. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you cut, as long as we get a 2 3/4 and a 2 3/4. Don't you love it when it's just that easy? There's no right or wrong on this part. Okay, and putting those 2 together to save us some time, we'll cut these. So there's 2, here's 4, and 1 more. We'll make our 6. And my friends, we're ready to go. We love it. That did not take that long, did it? Right? Okay, let me get my trimmer out of the way so we can work. We're done with the diagrams. We're done. Now we get to do some stamping. And so, yeah, I think we're going to start with our stamping. So I'm going to start here with 2. Remember, we're making 2 cards. So you're going to see me double up on a lot of things, okay? 2 ink pads today, Mary Merlot and Mossy Meadow. So let's start with that Mossy Meadow. And I told you we were going to use this cottage wreath. We're going to use this wreath right here, okay? The more solid leafy one. And if you're looking for a Thanksgiving card, please stick around. I'm going to have a Thanksgiving card for this stamp set and this design as well. So you're going to want to see that. Isn't that so pretty? So this is one of our distinctive stamps. Stampin' Up! Distinctive. And can you see? It's like all this shading is already built into it. I love that. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side and bring in some Mary Merlot. And one of the stamps in this, of course, it's a wreath. Let's bring in some little berries. And so we're going to just add these. You notice there's really no right or wrong. We're just going to add berries all around our wreath. Look at that. That's done. I'm going to set those off to the side. Now let's work on 2 more pieces. And this is going to be, let me bring it in so you can see. This is going to be this piece right here. All right. So what we're going to do is I've got my Mary Merlot here. And I told you I was going to bring in a sentiment from the brightest, I keep saying the brightest glow, the brightest glow. We're going to stamp, may the peace of the season light your world. Oh, I don't know if I can talk and stamp at the same time. There we go. May it light your world and may your new year be the brightest. We like that. Oh, Connie, don't put that away yet. We're not done. Okay, I'm going to come back in with the Mossy Meadow. And just to dress this up a little bit, we have some, let's see, how many of those did I stamp? I think I stamped like that. I think I should have stamped that one a little bit closer to my sentiment, like that. All right. Set these off to the side. And now we're going to take our last 2 squares. And with my Merry Merlot, I'm going to stamp some berries, my little holly berries, right down here at the bottom. And you know what? I cannot find, oh, there it is. I'm going to put a little bit of grid paper underneath me real quick because I am going to be stamping off with this. So let's take those holly leaves. See how I kind of stamped off? And we'll just kind of fill in all around there. Let me do that again here. 1, 2, and 3. Guess what? Stamping done. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these away because the way my day's going with the spilled coffee and everything else, I'm going to end up with like my entire hand full of. Oh, I am not done. There is one more bit of stamping, but I'm going to do that at the end. Okay. I saw this stamp over here. Why is there one more stamp? Well, now I know why. Okay, well, we're going to put our little fancy card together. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to start with these 2 pieces. These are the 3x6 that we scored in half at 3 inches. Let's go ahead and do those. And we're going to add, it's the wreath will go here, sentiment here, like this. All right. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do my best to read some comments while I adhere these down. That's not always my gift, but we're going to give it a try and see if I can read comments. Randy says, we're having a storm and my Wi-Fi is cutting off. No, not when we're live. You can't have Wi-Fi go out. But I'll tell you what, Randy, you can send that storm our way. We sure could use some rain here in Oklahoma. It's been so dry. Ugh. Let's see. Diane, love these cards. Thank you, Connie. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you liked them. These are just, and by the way, can you see just how fast they're going together? I mean, they really, really are truly quick cards. So this is going to be a great one that you guys could create for your Christmas cards this year. I'm telling you. Boom, boom. All right. Now we're going to take these 2 squares. Remember these 2? Let's add our little holly berries. And this is where we're going to write our message. So if you're like me, sometimes I actually like to add this at the end because I don't have the best handwriting and I tend to write something wrong. And then I have to go and stamp again. So you are welcome to leave this off until the end, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to get that put together. Here on this piece, you know what? I think I will go ahead and stamp it since it's all kind of already here. I'm going to take this Merry Christmas, and it's so cute and little, and I'm just going to stamp it down here in the bottom corner of these 2 last pieces of our basic white cardstock. Okay. All right, setting all of that off to the side so we can prep our card bases. Here we go. This is so easy. Ready? We're going to fold, and we're going to fold, and we're going to fold, and we're going to fold. It's really that simple. And now we'll give all of our score lines a really good crease with the bone folder. Okay, there's one. You know, I got one that's not quite as creased. There we go. And I'll tell you what, let's go. You know what? I think I do want to make both of these at the same time, if that's all right with you guys. Janice says, beautiful cards. Thank you. R. Fowler says, I agree, Peggy. Then you can relax and enjoy the holidays. Peggy says it's never too early to create Christmas cards. Girl, you are so right. I am the queen of sending New Year's cards because I'm always late in sending them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add the one that we just stamped. This would be that 4 by 5 1/4. What did I do wrong? Oh my goodness. Connie did something wrong. I don't think I cut these right. No, Connie. Let's see. Let me see what I was supposed to do. Yep, they were supposed to be 4 by 5 1/4. So what did I do? These are the right size. Yeah, I think I've just cut this one wrong. All right. Well, you know what? No problem. We are going to improvise. No, it is 4 1/4. We're going to go 3 1/4. And let's see if that fits. It does. Oh my goodness, my friends. I think I had an incorrect measurement there. So my apologies. You know, that's stamping. We just learned to improvise. So that should have been 3 3/4. But look, it didn't change anything for us, did it? No, we're all still good. But it's always when you're live that you realize, whoops, typo. All right. I will work on getting that fixed. And okay, so we've got those 2 pieces down. Now, the next thing, and this is important, we want to add these 2 pieces before we do this. All right. So let's start with one of these. So I'm going to take the Mossy Meadow, and I want it to go on my Mary Merlot. Real quick, before I started hearing it, I want you to see you're only going to add adhesive right here, okay, to this side. So we want to kind of keep it right in here, okay? And I'm going to center this up here in my card, and I'm kind of going all 3 sides here, kind of make sure that's centered up. All right. Now I can add this one to this panel. So you want to have that valley in between. All right. That's going to be really important. So now we can add adhesive here, and that's easy enough, right? You just literally fold it right over. You don't even have to try to line anything up. The one thing we're going to line up is this one here, because we do want to make sure it's hidden. Okay. So I'm going to adhere it, or not adhere it. I'm just going to set it right here, right on top, just to kind of use as a little buffer there. Okay. Making sure everything's centered. And then I'm just going to bring my card over. Voila. Yep, that is all we need to do. I now have a place to write my message. Now we're going to do one more thing. Well, you know what? I got to finish this up. It's just going to drive me crazy if I have a bald one just sitting here. Oh, and you know what? I put the wrong one on the inside. That was the Mary Merlot. No, see, it's that spilled coffee thing. It got me. It got me. Okay. That down in the corner. Yeah. Connie and spilled coffee don't necessarily like each other. There we go. All right. So remember what we did. We're going to center it up on all 3 sides. When you're good and straight, we can give that a press. We're going to open this. Let's add our adhesive here. Give that one a press. Our magic is going on. Now we'll do this one. And remember, we just lined those up right with our little fancy fold there on the front. We have that. It's covered up. Now, there's one more thing I want to do. This wreath needs a little love, right? Needs a little love. So remember these pieces that we had left over? These were the little 2 by 3s. Well, let me show you what we're going to bring in here. We're going to bring in the matching wreaths to that cottage wreath stamp set. And look at this cute bow. This thing is adorable. So we're going to take these bows and we're going to die cut a solid and kind of the little detailed, the little scored outline one. We're going to do that to both of these. We're going to run that through our die cutting machine. And I hope you guys don't mind, but I went ahead and did that in advance. So you can see we just did a simple die cut. So what we're going to do now is we are going to bring in some mini glue dots and add these together. And we're going to add a little bling too. But I'm going to take the detailed one. And can you see how we're just going to put a mini glue dot right there in the center of the bow? And then we can layer these together right on top of each other. And the reason I like that is it's going to allow us to pop that bow a little bit. Isn't that great? Let me do it again here on this one. Joanna said, so simple and totally effective. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad that you like it. Debbie says, I always feel better when the pros have problems. I don't know about pro, but problems? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't believe how much of my stuff ends up in the trash. But can I say something? That is one thing I was honestly always drawn to rubber stamping, is because if I messed up, it's like, well, even this hot mess, you know what? It's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper. This is not the end of the world, So, okay, we are now going to take our bows, and we're going to go ahead and do that mini glue dot tip again, except this time I'm going to add mini glue dots to the bow part, okay? And just on that bottom one. So let's see. I think I'll add this one here and see how our little bow can kind of pop. Let me add this one. And again, just a couple mini glue dots to the back. You can use regular adhesive too, but I thought, I've got my mini glue dots out. And sometimes when you just need a little bit of adhesive, glue dots are just the bomb diggity. I love them. All right, now let's add a little bling. I'm going to bring in my rhinestones. How about I bring in my take your pick tool, because it makes it picking these little guys up so much easier. Add that to the center. Oh my goodness. Now come on. Which do you like better? With the bling? Of course you like the bling. We've always got to have a little bling. And it's just one. So a package of your rhinestones are going to go an awful long way. And my friends, that is how quick and easy it is to create a fancy fold 2-for-1, 1-sheet wonder, 3 sheets of cardstock, 2 fabulous cards. We used every bit of scrap so we could get those great looking bows on there. Yeah, it's a fabulous one. Now I'm going to show you the Thanksgiving versions because, I know many of you love to send Thanksgiving cards. So let me show you what I did here. Everything still came from the cottage wreath stamp set. So here I used for the wreath part, where on this card I did it with Mossy Meadow. I stamped it in crushed curry. But look what I did on top. I used the branch and I stamped that in early espresso. Okay, so I just kind of changed it up. Definitely wanted to give it more of a fall feel. There's those bows. I used the champagne rhinestones on this one. And by the way, I did use a different sentiment stamp set. What did I use? I used Best Occasions. And those little leaves, yep, that's from Cottage Wreaths as well. So it's a really great, versatile set. And guys, I hope you can see that with any of these cards, what's going to be so cool about these is you name the occasion, Cottage Wreaths is going to work. I mean, think about this for spring, summer, winter, fall. You got it. Change up the colors. But remember, these images can be anything, right? Whatever you stamp down here on the bottom can be anything. You've got a lot of choices. So this is going to be a card that's going to carry you a long, long ways. I think you're going to really enjoy this, and be sure to go grab your free download. Be sure to go grab your tutorial here. I'm going to go fix my measurement. That was incorrect. And again, my apologies for that. These things happen. But yeah, we will get that fixed. And yeah, please give this card a try. All right, I'm going to flip myself back over here so I can say thank you so much for joining me. Hey, before I go, I want to just kind of give a shameless plug. The Creative 8 Fall Retreat is coming up. And, we just created these fall and Christmas cards. If you are looking for some holiday projects, you are not going to want to miss this online stamping retreat. Here's what's cool. You don't have to pack up all your stuff. No, you're going to do it in your home every hour at the top of the hour on October 14th and 15th. We're going to start Friday night and do a couple presentations, and then most of the day on Saturday. We've got 9 live presentations for you, and you can stamp along with us if you want. You can watch the replays later. You don't even have to be available on the 14th and the 15th. It's all good. You can do it when you want. And we have got some amazing projects lined up for you. 37 tutorials. right? 37 tutorials, plus all those lives, a day for you to kick back, relax, stamp, and have some fun. It's a day that is set aside for you, and I would love to have you join us. $45 registration fee, and that will get you everything that you need, the tutorials, the YouTube live links, even pre-recorded links. So if maybe lives aren't your thing, you can still go and just watch a pre-recorded video where we just kind of shown you everything that you need to know. So many options. It's a great time. By the way, if you're watching right now and you've been to the retreat, let me know what you guys have thought of it. I've just received so many wonderful emails and comments from you guys about it. We'd love to have you join. Go to simplysimplestamping.com. Up there in the blue menu bar, you will see Creative 8 Retreat registration. So click there. We'd love to have you. Well, that is all for me. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you like the video and you like the cards, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. I always love that. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to know whenever I'm going to be back with a new video, click the red subscribe button. Click the bell right next to it. If you want to be notified, YouTube will let you know whenever I am back with a new video. That's it for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Don't spill your coffee on your cardstock. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.